I've even looked through because I'm like, I'm paying for MGM Plus. I should at least see what else is on there.
Right.
Like I go
And they
through and
do
I'm
have
like,
like a couple random movies that are like, oh yeah, okay, like,
right.
I'll watch that. But like, it's nothing
It's
that I would pay money for,
no.
except
It's literally
for From.
it's from. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Hello and welcome to the Infinity Bros podcast, the only podcast that's perfectly balanced as all things should be. My name is Isaac Edlin. I am your host tonight, but I am not alone. I have one of my very good friends and fellow Infinity Bros, the enigma of the Infinity Bros podcast, Zane Ellis. How are you doing, Zane? It has been too long.
It has been a hot minute, but we're back here for another Zane and Isaac mess around.
Classic Zane and Isaac mess
It's
around.
classic. It's late night. Gonna be, talking Star Wars. Like it's right on brand. It's right in our vein, right in our wheelhouse.
I'm so excited already. And we've already talked for like 35 minutes on our Patreon. So go check the show notes for the link. You can join the Patreon for as little as $2 a month for exclusive access to Zane and Isaac mess arounds.
Yeah.
And also Isaac and Max mess arounds too. It's a very different vibe from the Zane and Isaac mess arounds. So either one though, you don't want to miss, because Zane and I are like, it's kind of weird. We're like the same person. We like have all of the exact same likes. We had like almost the exact same childhood too. Like somehow I don't understand. Every time you tell a story from your childhood, I'm like, that's
sounds
basically
familiar. How I get it, right?
It's like nostalgic to me as well. So it's wild. But yeah, because of that, Zane and I get along great. And we have this deep connection to Star Wars. So we're going to be talking about Maul Shadow Lord today. I'm very excited to talk about. And I literally recruited Zane to come on and talk about this one because Max is not a Star Wars guy. But if you have been following along with our Patreon, he has been watching Star Wars with his kids, and it is an incredible journey. I feel like I'm enjoying hearing about that more than Max is actually enjoying watching it with his kids. But man, I'm kind of like living vicariously through him because my kids do not like Star Wars. So I'm a little jealous. I got a little bit of a push here though, because Mandalorian and Grogu is coming out next week. And both of my older daughters agreed to come to it with me because Grogu is cute. So they love Grogu, right?
That's fair.
Just haven't watched a lick of The Mandalorian because they refuse to watch Star Wars with me. But we're going to this movie, and I'm really hoping that this can be the thing that hooks them, and then we can at least watch a little bit. I don't even care if they're not fully into it like I am. If they don't immediately hiss and boo at me when I have Star Wars on, if that's how it goes, I'm fine with that. I literally will mention Star Wars and they'll be like, no, we don't want to watch Star Wars. It's like, you haven't even watched it. You don't even know. We're getting there.
They must get really upset with Star Wars being in Fortnite then.
Yeah, right? Oh, man. The stupid thing is they love everything about Star Wars. They just don't want to watch it with me. I don't understand it.
See, that makes no sense.
Maybe it's a girl thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just a little kid thing too. I don't know.
But I feel like, well, maybe that's what we get then with Max going through that with his kids. Maybe that's a segue into finally getting Max to watch like the Clone Wars.
Oh,
and then into Rebels.
You know what?
Like getting into those.
Yes. I've been like talking to him about that because Maul has been going on, and I like start getting into it on the Patreon talking about it, and Max is just like way over his head. He's never watched any animated Star Wars. So I was like, dude, this is going to be a ride for you because you're going to actually find out how good Star Wars is. And then you might actually like it.
Right.
And we'll talk about this because later in this episode, we're talking about our top 6 Star Wars shows, TV shows. But I was like, Max, after you get done watching all of the movies, the thing that you have to watch with your kids is Rebels. because Clone Wars is great. It's a bit of a slog to get through the first couple seasons of Clone Wars. But the Rebels is such a great story, and it is like directly targeted at kids.
Mm-hmm.
It is made for Max's age
Right.
kids, basically. So I was like, okay, once you finish those movies, start Rebels, and then I can't guarantee it because Max is a very resistant person when it comes to stuff that people are telling him he should like. So there's still a chance that he will not watch it nor like it. But I was like, that's the one that you need to start with because the story is so good
It is,
that it transcends like the Star Wars mythos. Like when it's just a good story in general, I feel like anybody can get hooked on that, not just Star Wars fans. So here's hoping we can get Max actually liking Star Wars and in on these conversations with us.
Absolutely. So, like it's just the gateway drug. It's just a little bit of something. Because
there it is.
There's so much more to Star Wars once you move past just what you have for the movies. And you get into the rest of the stuff and you're like, oh, there's so much there.
Man. And the one thing that I will say about Disney Star Wars is that they are just flooding us with content. And some of that content, because of that, is a little bit lower quality. But we have gotten stories from corners of the Star Wars universe that I have never even thought of before getting them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, Bad Batch is one that I come back to all the time. We've all wanted clone stories. Like we watch Clone Wars as kids, right? Like most of us Star Wars fans. And the clones are like the best part of the show. Like they're so good. So to get a clone spinoff and to have the story be as good as it was, man, it hits the Star Wars fan right in the heart, right there. Like it's just exactly everything that we've ever wanted as Star Wars fans. So there's good and bad that it has come with Disney Star Wars, but the good is really, really, really good. So we're eating well. And you know what? If you really don't like some of the stuff of Disney Star Wars, you can always just not watch it. Like,
right. Like there's something else, right?
Yeah, there's something else. I don't understand why people get mad about things being made. Like, you can always just choose to not watch it. Right. That's always a choice.
Or if you start watching, you get an episode or two in and realize, I don't really care for that. Like, that's fine. Like, no one says you have to like it. No one says you have to watch the whole thing.
Exactly. And
I mean, it adds to if you want to make more of an objective judgment, like, watch it first, see what they do. But like, there's enough where it's like, if you don't like it, that's fine.
Right. I am a absolutely selfish Star Wars fan, and I love everything that they've come out with. Even the stuff that I didn't like as much, they still had some really great Star Wars moments in those shows, like the Acolyte show. As the show itself, not that great of a show, but man, we had some really cool lightsaber battles in that show.
Sweet villain,
yeah. Right. Oh my gosh, we got some like little bit of like classic Star Wars lore mixed in there. That was one of the horrible parts of that, is that we never got any resolution to that because season 2 was canceled. Like, it would have been nice to at least finish that story. No longer, but I digress. Man, like I said, we're eating good as Star Wars fans. So yeah, we're excited to talk about Maul Shadow Lord later. But we do have one thing that we want to talk about first, and that is the Punisher special presentation that came out on Disney Plus this week called The Punisher One Last Kill. For those of you guys who haven't heard of the Infinity Bros, we are a group of guys that just talk pop culture, just have a conversation about the stuff that we love, including film, TV, video games. Zayne and I are big video gamers, and we're going to be playing Directive 8020 that is now out, and you can check out our Patreon for a little bit more discussion on that. But yeah, I mean, we just vibe with the stuff that we love in pop culture. So if you want to join us, please give us a follow. You can hit us up at theinfinitybros.com or infinitybrospodcast@gmail.com as well. So with that out of the way, we do have a special rating system that we use on the Infinity Bros podcast, so we'll plug that right here.
Here on the Infinity Bros podcast, everything is ranked from a 0 to 6 point scale. 0 meaning horrible, and 6 meaning absolutely excellent. If all of the Infinity Bros rank something a 6, it gets an Infinity Step.
So if you hear us refer to something as a number, that is our rating system. We like to be cool and special on the Infinity Bros. We rate things out of 6, you know? So there it is. All right. Punisher One Last Kill. This is a special presentation put on by Disney Plus, Marvel Studios, written and directed, I should say co-written and co-directed by Jon Bernthal himself, who plays the Punisher. So, I mean, it's a pretty short story. It's less than an hour long, and it came up quick. We knew it was coming, I think maybe in like January or February this year. And then it was like, boom, they literally announced like a month ago that it was coming on May 12th. And everybody was like, oh, geez, okay. I guess we're getting this Punisher special now. So I guess that's one of the positive things about keeping it, you know, under an hour and as a special presentation is like, boom, you can develop that real quick and drop that on your platform, Disney Plus. And I think a lot of people have been loving it and enjoying it. So we'll dive a little bit into that. But I want to get some thoughts first, Zane, on what you think of the Punisher, Jon Bernthal as the Punisher, the Netflix show, what you thought of that and all the appearances that he's made, including in Daredevil Born Again season 1. So yeah, what do you think of Jon Bernthal's Punisher?
I think he crushes it. Like, I think he does a really good job of portraying the character and how he does it. Like, he's got the look. I think he's got the acting style. Not that I don't think it's necessarily a super like deep character to be. But, like, I was excited when, even way back when they cast him, you know, going way back to when Daredevil was still on Netflix. And it was just like, yes, I think this. I was excited because I was like, yeah, he's going to capture Frank Castle, and he does. And all of the stuff that's been in, like, I've really enjoyed. I did like how he got the introduction through with Daredevil and kind of that counterpoint to kind of establish that. And then just being able to run through the course of, like, his stories has been good. It's been entertaining. So yeah, I really enjoy it. Like, I think the casting was well done, but at the same time, like, you know what you're going to get from him. Just the character in general. Like, you're not going to get a super complex character because that's not who Frank Castle is. Like, I mean, you get into some of that as it goes a bit into the backstory, but like, that's not what people watch the Punisher for.
I'll even give Jon Bernthal credit. I feel like his Punisher is way more complex than the comic book version of the Punisher. The Punisher in the comic book, like, he's great. He's a great character, but like, I don't know. I feel like we got more backstory and internal struggle in his TV show than we probably get in general in comics as the Punisher. Like, I love the Punisher. Again, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's a bad character or anything, but like you said, in the comics, he's just not that deep. He's a guy that his family got killed and he went out for revenge, and now he just does that. That's he's got nothing else. That's it. That's his thing. Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. But the Punisher One Last Kill, once again, on Disney Plus streaming right now. So we're going to give a spoiler warning. If you have not watched it yet, here is your spoiler warning for Punisher One Last Kill.
This is...
Prepare yourself.
An Infinity Bros.
Prepare yourself.
Spoiler. Warning.
All right. So the one thing I would say to what you just said about that is that I feel like we have been treading this theme of him losing his family and like kind of figuring who he is as the Punisher for a long time. Like, and here we have this special, which I loved. Don't get me wrong. I think there was a body count on somebody's tweet that I read. He kills 60 people in under an hour in this this special. It's insane, and probably one of the bloodiest, like, goriest things we've gotten.
And it's ironic. It's called One Last Kill.
One
Like,
last
no,
kill. That was
he
my,
doesn't kill. He doesn't
that was
kill one
my
person.
thing. I was like, what
There's-
one last kill are we talking about? There's like plenty of kills in this. But one of the negatives, in my opinion, of this special is that I feel like we're retreading this ground that we kind of already went through
Mhm.
in the Punisher series, in the Netflix series, in, you know, everything that we've been going through with this character. And it's great. John Bernthal is fantastic and plays this like mentally, emotionally tortured character very well. Like, don't get me wrong, he's not doing anything bad for this character, but I just feel like we've been there and they keep going back to it. And I think what they're trying to distinguish with this special is that he's finally, through his show, got revenge for the what happened to his family. He's got revenge. And now he's like kind of struggling with, what do I do now? And I'm like, I mean, you kind of already started this path. It's not really that hard to figure out where you should go, right? But we get the first, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes of this special of literally just that internal struggle. And once again, John Bernthal does it great. So it's not that I'm not saying I disliked it because he did a fantastic job of showing that, but I really hope that if we get more Punisher in this universe in the MCU, that he is the Punisher. Like, he's fully that character now. We're not having more of this internal struggle of like who he is or what he's becoming or whatever like that. In the comics, he is not complex and he does not think about things, really. He just does things. The comic that I always think of when I think of the Punisher is Civil War. He like goes to Captain America, who is like, you know, underground, they're anti-registration, they're in hiding, and he comes into Captain America's lair or whatever. And Captain America, to be fair, has made some poor choices and is recruiting villains. And Punisher just comes in and just shoots a dude in his lair. And everybody's like, what the heck, bro? Like, what are you doing? He's like, he's a villain. He's a bad guy. I shot him. Like, he doesn't think. He just does things. You know, he's really not that complex of a character. I hope we get that guy in Brand New Day and, you know, moving forward in the MCU, because he's also a great character, but we've seen enough of him struggling over who he is, in my opinion.
That's fair.
That was my first thought through the first 20 minutes of this. And then the last half an hour, my thought was, holy crap, this is insane.
I'll say, you know what would give him a sense of purpose if he can't figure it out? He can go to outer space and become Cosmic Ghost Rider. Maybe that's his purpose.
Yes.
Maybe that's his purpose, Isaac.
Yep. That's it. That's it. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Could you imagine if they did that?
That would be so insane. And they already, I mean, I guess they've already pretty much resolved the Thanos storyline, so that probably wouldn't work with the origin of like the Cosmic Ghost Rider stuff. But if they did that, it would be
pretty nuts.
Wild.
Like, it would be super wild, but part of me would also be sad because I'm like, I just want traditional, like, classic Ghost Rider. Like, give me Johnny Blaze. Yeah. Like,
right.
But also, Cosmic Ghost Rider would just be sweet.
That would be amazing. I think there's a chance we get like a flash or a cameo of him in, like, if not Doomsday, like Secret Wars. I think there's a chance, because I feel like at this point they've got enough time that they could at least show the Netflix, you know, Defenders and Punisher in Doomsday. Like, they probably don't have big parts because that, you know, Doomsday was in development for a while before they were all inducted into the MCU officially. But I feel like they've got enough time that they could squeeze them in somewhere, even if it's just like a cameo or a shot or whatever. Yeah. So seeing Bernthal as Cosmic Ghost Rider would be insane.
You know, maybe that was a little tease in the one shot. Then they light the room on fire. He comes out of his apartment. He's on fire. I mean,
yeah.
You know, a
Oh,
little tease here.
right. The last shot when he walks out to that song, whoo, man.
Mm,
And they have that shot where it's like the camera is the guy on the ground, like looking up at
yeah.
Punisher. That's an iconic Punisher shot right there.
Oh, yeah.
That was sick. And then he had like finally had his armor back on and stuff like
Hmm.
that. That's what I want. That's what I want from Punisher right there. Just looking awesome and just murking dudes
Right.
who are doing stupid
Well, right.
stuff.
And how that, fits back in. That's why part of me thinks what we had with Born Again, like I get he was kind of in like season. I was just like, the whole plot of Born Again needs a guy like Punisher to come back.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
I felt like that was kind of a bit of a miss from that because I'm just like, that's that second part. Like that's the perfect timeline.
With
Like
how important he was in season one, and for all intents and purposes, like season one of Daredevil Born Again was kind of a mess. But
yeah,
the parts where Punisher was in, he was the reason why Karen was the way she was this season.
right.
She almost killed Bullseye solely because of Frank's influence on her.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think it would have been awesome to have the Punisher in this season. The season was so much better than season one, though. So I can't really complain a whole lot. And Jessica Jones, honestly, in this season of Daredevil Born Again was kind of a miss for me. Like, she kind of was just there. And
Yeah,
if I'm picking between John Bernthal's Punisher and Kristen Ritter's Jessica Jones just being there and not having a huge part in the story, I'm picking John Bernthal's Punisher. Like,
right.
that's just, yeah, he's just awesome. Like, he fits that role so perfectly. And Kristen Ritter is great as Jessica Jones, too. Don't get me wrong. But
Mm-hmm.
John Berthal, I think you said he just looks the part, too. Like,
Right.
he's just a physically imposing presence on screen.
He just looks angry all the time. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
he's perfect.
yeah,
I did love this special. The other thing that I wasn't a huge fan of was Ma Nucci, who is played by
yeah,
Judith Light. She's great, actually. She's great. And I think they were trying to kind of make a point that it wasn't about her, but I still wanted to see him murder her. Like, I still wanted to see it. I wanted to see resolution with that kind of storyline that they started. If they had just added an hour to, not even an hour, added 45 minutes to this, make it an hour and a half movie, this would have been
right.
awesome. Make
Yeah,
it a full length movie. Like, it was already so good at 51 minutes. Why not just throw on 45 minutes, complete that storyline, complete his arc into the Punisher? I would have liked to see a full length movie instead of a special
yeah.
presentation.
I suppose that kind of goes into my thoughts on it too. Like I feel like it needed more. It needed more to add to the story. Like yes, you got Punisher being the Punisher, and that's cool, but it's still kind of the continuing of what we've had. It didn't really add anything to the story. It didn't take anything away, but like I guess I'll have to wait and see like what your rating for it is because like I don't feel like it was good, but I don't feel like I'm super high on it just because I feel like what you had in a one shot and for this 50-minute episode, like I feel like that this is more just like a lost episode of what we should have had in season two Born Again. Of just like, hey, what's
Yeah,
Frank
right.
doing while all this is going on? Frank's just murking people, doing what Frank does. Because like it doesn't add to the story. It's just kind of this thing off to the side, and you're just like, okay, and like the other side of it, like I don't see where this then that fits into anything. And again, it's a one shot, but I feel like if you're doing a one shot, and not that we have a ton to go off of from the other two one shots we've had, but I feel like the other ones we've had have actually had a complete story to them. Yes, you only
Mhm.
have 50 minutes, but I feel like this one was just like, hey, how about we just have the Punisher kill a bunch of people and do all this stuff, and then yeah, we're not really gonna give it a story. Okay, I guess you're not really watching the
Mhm.
Punisher for a huge in-depth story, but I feel like something should have been developed a little more there. And if you weren't going to do that, okay, but how does that tie into something else? And I just feel like they kept the one shot model of like, hey, this is just a self-contained story. Okay, but you didn't really give a story to it.
Mhm.
It was just kind of there.
Right.
Still
Yeah.
cool.
It had the bare bones of a story, but we definitely needed more meat And I think if they had added 45 minutes of meat to this, it could have been a good movie. And it, again,
Yes.
probably not going to be a masterpiece because it's a Punisher movie, you know, like we're not really expecting a masterpiece. We're expecting him to go around and do some really cool action moves and shoot a bunch of people.
Right. Right.
But same time, they did an incredible job of fleshing him out in the TV series. And what you said before is spot on. Like this felt like another episode of the show, or like a side episode of Daredevil Morning Again or something like that.
Hmm.
It didn't feel like its own thing or a complete story. It's got to be
Yeah.
one or the other. Like you
Right.
got to make it an episode of
It's like
something.
they towed the line between the two, right? And it's like they should have picked a direction, I feel like.
Yep. So I agree with you. I think it was a missed opportunity, but I'm still glad we got it because it was
Oh
awesome.
yeah. Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people online talking about that one shot where he falls off the roof and lands on that air conditioning unit.
Oh yeah, that
It
was
was a little wonky, but that's a non-issue for me. Like I noticed it during the show, but I'm like, whatever. All the rest of the action was so good and so fun that I
yeah.
did not care about that at
I
all.
think my problem with that more so, like I had to kind of laugh at it, is how it was just animated and done. It looks like it's from a video game, and like rewatch
It
that
literally
section.
does, yeah.
It looks like Nathan Drake from Uncharted. Like how it's animated.
Yeah.
Like rewatch
Yeah.
it how it's animated,
It
and you're
totally
like,
does. I didn't even think about
that
that.
looks
I
like
saw
Nathan
people
Drake.
saying that it looks like Joel from The Last of Us.
Yeah, yep, that would also be applicable. And you're just like,
Hmm.
like I get it. Like that's not the focal point of that. And like, yeah, you're doing a one shot, and
Yeah, right.
but then you just run that forward a little bit more, and you have the stunt man fall through the scaffolding. It's like you couldn't have just have him a stuntman fall on that. Like I don't know. It was a weird thing to
Right.
just do that one thing
That
when
one
like
shot.
everything else was practical effects. But then hey, we're gonna do this as
Hmm.
just
Yeah.
mediocre CGI.
I heard some people say, and I don't know, I would have to dig into this like and see what Marvel has officially confirmed, but I heard some people say that the shot was actually real, but they just CGI'd Bernthal's face over the stuntman, and that's what made it
Oh,
look wonky. But I was like, man, the whole shot just
the
looks
whole
kind of
shot
funky.
looks
Yeah,
right. I don't
it
think it was
looks
just a
weird.
face thing. The whole thing looked kind of weird.
Yeah, I thought it looked weird too. But yeah, to me, the rest of the action was so good that I didn't really blink at it. It was just like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, the rest of it, fantastic, great action. Love the moment where he rescues the family and the little girl
Hmm.
goes and gives him a hug and stuff. That was really cool. Really great moment that I feel like that captured Frank Castle really well. Like he still does have sympathy and compassion, just not for people that do stupid stuff.
Right.
Not for those people.
Right.
No compassion for the people that do bad things,
Hmm.
which is fair. I
No.
mean, that
Right.
is what it is. That's who the Punisher is. So
The only other thing too, then I guess running forward that just as the last to end on is then, like I said, the scaffolding part. The other part of that, I don't. It was kind of funny when the one bad dude just grabbed the other dude and like threw him at him. It was like, all right,
yeah,
that was kind of
that
funny.
was funny.
But also, that was the other part. I'm just like how he jumps through it, but then he's just like, oh no, he's gonna throw a guy on top of me. I better roll off all these scaffoldings and land on a bus and then land on the ground. And you're just like, I don't feel like
Yeah.
you needed to go that extreme. Like you could
Yeah,
have just
right.
moved and just went down the scaffolding normal, but nah. I
Yeah,
guess that's
right.
not Frank Castle style. Like just
Yeah.
fall all the way down on top of a
He
bus.
wasn't thinking about that one for sure.
I
He's
guess
just like,
I'm just like,
yeet.
oh no,
Just-
my weakness, a guy throwing another guy at me. Like that's how'd they know?
My weakness. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. There were a couple parts that maybe were a little, but it's like it's cool action, but also it's really like high intensity, and
Yeah.
you expect maybe a little bit of like non-realism or whatever
Yeah.
with some of that high intensity action stuff. Like it's not quite the same, but I always think of the Fast and Furious movies. By the end of the Fast and Furious movies, those guys are basically superheroes. Like
Right.
Vin
Yeah.
Diesel's like stopping cars from,
Right.
running them over and stuff. And like, okay, all right. But like
All right.
to an extent, I can forgive stuff like that if it looks cool and like it's action and it happens fast, like whatever. but like there is a point where you start like in a 51-minute special, you don't even have to, especially with this one, the last 30 minutes, it was just boom, boom, boom. Everything
Mm-hmm.
was happening so fast. You didn't have time to think about if that shot was cool
Right.
or that shot was wonky or whatever. It was on to the next one. So I think that's okay. But to an extent, like he's still a non superpower hero or vigilante or whatever you want to call him. You do maybe have to put a little bit of realism in there. like that shot of him falling on the bus and stuff. I was like, I mean, some people would die from that. Like, and he
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
gets up and walks it off, Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no big deal.
But anyways, yeah, I thought it was really cool. A lot of great action. My score of it is a 5 out of 6. I feel like there was room for it to be a 6 out of 6 if they had developed that story. The CGI and wonky stuff did not really affect me at all. The retreading of the mental health stuff maybe was a little wearing. So initially, after I got done watching it, I was like, that was amazing. That was awesome. Probably had it at like a 5.5. And then the more I thought about it and the more, I kind of was ruminating on it, I was like, there's a lot they could have done to make this better. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I'm landing on it. It still was fantastic. I love it. I'll take anything with John Bernthal's Punisher. He's great.
Yeah.
So 5 out of 6, still really good.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I'm gonna go a little harsher on it. I'm at 4 out of 6. I guess it's not that far off, but I'm just like I said, it just the lack of the story, and yes, you got the Punisher being the Punisher, a lot of action, but yeah, I just from the aspect of like it doesn't do anything. Like if you don't watch this, it doesn't add anything. It's not like its own. It's not like Werewolf by Night or what it's just like
Right.
it's cool, but yeah, like I said, it feels like a lost episode that should have been in season 2 of Born Again. And cool, all but like okay,
That's fair. I know Max has some really harsh review of it, so we'll have to get his opinion and maybe throw it on a video or something like that. But it'll be interesting to see what he thinks of it too. But he was saying he hated it, and I was like, oh, that's not really surprising with Max. But
yeah, I can see it. Like I can see why some people wouldn't like
yeah,
it. Just
right.
like I get it, and I think there is probably a degree too of the one scene at the end when he kills the guy. Like that was just excessive on the gore. Like even to the point that I was like, all right, we get it. we get it.
Yeah,
So just some of those things you're just like,
yeah. I will say for the people that were worried that Daredevil Born Again or The Punisher or anything coming from Netflix was going to be like Disneyfied for Disney Plus, that is not
no,
the case with this
no,
special presentation. It is the
no,
goriest thing that has come probably from Netflix too, honestly. Like
yeah,
it's brutal, absolutely brutal in the like action gore and just brutal stuff happening. It's
hmm
wild. So if that's what you love about Punisher, you are in for a
right.
treat
Then you'll
with it.
enjoy that. Yes, that.
You will enjoy it. And I'm guessing that's partially why Max did not enjoy it, because I
I
don't think that
I that's
was,
probably a good guess. Yeah,
along with the story beats and other things that we've talked about. But anyways, let us know what you guys think of Punisher One Last Kill. Hit us up on socials and all that stuff. The Infinity Bros. All right, Zane, now let's talk our bread and butter, Star Wars.
yeah, that's what we're here
Let's go.
for.
Maul Shadow Lord. I've been pumped to talk to you about this show because I really want to get your background on Darth Maul, because as a kid, Darth Maul was like the coolest character to me. I love Duel of the Fates. Still
Hmm.
my favorite lightsaber battle in all of Star Wars. I get the Revenge of the Sith, like Anakin Obi-Wan one is also fantastic. Better choreographed than the Duel of the Fates, but Darth Maul, the double-bladed lightsaber, and that John Williams score
Hmm.
just churning during that's peak Star Wars right there. Like if I had to
Yeah,
show somebody a Star Wars moment that would maybe make them a fan, that's what I would show them. It's just peak. I love it so much. So that moment when Darth Maul, the doors open and we see him for the first time in full, and he pulls out the lightsaber and activates both of his blades, he became an iconic character in my mind. And
Mm-hmm.
I still love him as a character to this day. So the fact that we got a Maul Shadow Lord show, I was all in on this show from the beginning. Like this is
Oh
a
yeah.
no-brainer for me. But where do you sit on Darth Maul? Do you feel like the same feelings about him that I did when I was a kid?
Oh yeah. I mean, Darth Maul's sweet, and I get that. I think just from our era and our age, you look at it with nostalgic glasses, but it was something new into Star Wars, and you look at that because, like, yeah, we're kid. This Phantom Menace is coming out. I remember collecting the pop cans and all the, it became such this sweeping phenomenon.
The pop cans, man.
Right.
Oh yeah, they're
And
so
to
good.
have such just a cool character, because yeah, it just up till that point, yeah, you just had regular lightsaber, and then
Mhm.
this dude's got a double-sided lightsaber.
Yeah.
What? Like, it was just,
Change the
and
game for
just
the
a game,
kids,
right?
man.
And
Yeah.
you were like, wait a second, that's so cool. But then I think there's a further degree of, like, you look at Darth Maul, and it's also that instant recognizable of, like, oh, that's the bad guy. Like,
Oh
there's
yeah.
no
With
call, like,
right, with the
instant,
black
right,
and red face
right.
paint. Right.
It was like an instant, he's the bad guy, these are the good guys. You add that score, like, there was just something about that of just like, it turned it up to 11, if you will, because you're like, this is the bad guy, it's gonna be a sweet fight because he's got a sweet weapon. And it just, yeah, it just built on that. And it is weird now too, looking back, how much you get built through like Clone Wars and stuff, with
Mhm.
all the stuff with Maul. But then you realize
Yeah.
we have in Phantom Menace, like Ray Park, he doesn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
He just shows up as cool,
Right.
kills Qui-Gon. Spoilers, if you didn't know that, that's just a shame.
Yeah, I feel like we got a good 20 years now. You should probably know
Yeah.
that by now.
If you don't know that, why are you listening to this? But just, yeah, like, it was just never spoke, didn't need to. He was just there to be cool. And there's part of me that wonders if, George Lucas, if there was a degree of the Deadpool effect of just like, hey, here's this character I didn't really have plans to do anything with, but other than just being cool. And then you get into like Clone Wars and stuff, and then Filoni's like, no, I'm going to do something awesome with this guy. And then just build,
Filoni resurrecting him is just, that's iconic, man. Like I know Filoni now is like the co-president or whatever of Lucasfilm, of Star Wars. That was a killer move on his part to resurrect Darth Maul. I love it.
It is funny going back to that, because like I was finishing up watching Shadow Lord, and Annika had come down, and so it was like the last episode, and she was understanding. She's like, between stuff, she's like, I have so many questions, but she's also pretty good of just like, I'm not going to talk during the movie, but I'll ask, stuff like that. And so finished watching it,
wife right there.
and yeah, I know, she's fantastic. But we get through, and I'm just like, this was sweet. And then the first question she asked me, she's like, I thought Darth Maul got cut in half. And like, they just, the entire reel in my mind of just like, there is so much backstory you do not know, that I kind of like looked at her and I'm just like, how do I start? like literally, I was literally just like, I don't know how to explain this. So I just kept it simple. I was just like, yeah, he survived. His hatred of Obi-Wan kept him alive, and then he built robot legs, and here we are. And it just like, I was just like, there is so much more to this, but I just have to give you a very simple answer, because there's not a simple answer of why Darth Maul is still alive, unless you've watched it. And so she was just like, all right, that's good enough. And I was like, we'll get to the point, you can watch it someday. But even on that, of just like, yeah, he survived, and then he built robot legs.
And going back to those early episodes of Maul and Clone Wars are insane, because he's got like the whole spider,
it's spider robot legs. It's not even normal robot legs.
It's like the Force, right? Like he's holding himself together with the Force. That's insane. And Filoni, man, he's got some imagination to bring Maul back in that fashion. That was wild. But I'm so glad that all of that history has led us to a Maul show. And Sam Witwer coming back to voice him, he's the reason this show works. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
So good.
We're going to get into it here, but I'm going to have you give just like a 60-second. What did you think of Maul Shadow Lord? Don't even have to give your score or anything, but just kind of like a general overview, non-spoiler review of Maul Shadow Lord.
Well, I think Maul Shadow Lord falls into one of those things of it wasn't a story that on the surface it seemed like we needed. It felt like a show that was like the Bad Batch. You're like, you understand, it's a cool character. I was like, okay, I didn't see how we need it, but then you watch it and you're like, oh, this is sweet. I want more of this. Yeah, it just kind of shows more of that, how he built his whole Shadow Collective, or maybe not as much of built, but some of those stories, and you didn't realize how much was there until you start watching this, and you're like, oh, there's a lot to unpack here that can be added in. But it was so enjoyable. I'm glad that they still were like, hey, the Clone Wars animation style is sweet. Let's keep making stuff in this. I wish they would have continued that. Like, again, Rebels, great show. I don't know why they deviated from this animation style. Should have kept it all the same. Because I feel like they realized that too, because everything they've made since, they've never gone back to the Rebels animation style. But anyways, that's a side tangent. It's very enjoyable. Like, it's fun. And like going back to the beginning of the conversation, Maul's just a cool character. And you watch this and you're just adding more of what makes him cool. Heck yeah. So it just super fun, adds to the lore. Very enjoyable.
Totally agree on everything. It was just one of those like underworld, like side missions, right? That, like you said, you don't need this, but it adds to the lore and it is just fun. It's just
Right.
fun Star Wars. And I totally agree on the animation, the Clone Wars animation. And then they're improving on that Clone Wars style with like kind of this paintbrush stroke kind of like layer that they add on top of some of those scenes. It looks beautiful. Incredible animation. Star Wars animation just keeps getting better. Rebels, that's my only ding on Rebels, honestly.
Yeah,
like the animation
literally.
is kind of garbage. It's distracting at times how garbage
Especially if you
the animation
come from like Clone Wars, or if you start with
is.
that.
Right.
Like if you're
Yeah.
coming fresh with Rebels, it might be a different thing. But like
Yeah.
for me, when I went into Rebels, it was coming right off Clone Wars, and it's such a contrast. It's jarring.
Yeah,
And
it's
so I think
jarring for
that's what
sure. That's a
makes
good
it
word for it.
worse. But like if you start with Rebels and then go the other way, so again, Max, follow what we're saying. Get into Rebels, go the other way, and you can let us know how that went, because
Ooh,
that's not how
there
we
you
did
go.
it.
Right.
So
That's
we
a
don't
good
have that
idea.
perspective of what it works
Mhm.
if you do Rebels first and then
But
go to Clone Wars.
the story in Rebels is so good though. So it's still a must watch, especially if you're like getting into Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
Rebels is a must watch story. And with all of these live action shows that we're getting, a lot of them are
it ties in.
they've got story. It ties into Rebels, so you got to watch it. Ahsoka is basically like season, what
Season
is it,
five,
5 or
season
6
five,
of
yeah.
of Rebels. Like it literally happens right after Rebels, so you need to watch Rebels. But I digress. Maul Shadow Lord, I absolutely loved it. I already loved the character. The show throughout, I went through different emotions of Maul, and at the end, I came to this conclusion that Filoni knows what he's doing with this character, and I love the direction that they're taking him. So I cannot wait for. I know that they've already confirmed that there is going to be a season 2 of Maul Shadow Lord, so I cannot wait for more of the
Oh
show.
yeah.
So
Well, I mean, there has to be a season 2.
stunning animation, great story. Yes, right, with how it ended, obviously. But we'll get into that in a bit. So here's your official spoiler warning for Maul Shadow Lord.
This is
Prepare yourself.
an Infinity Bros
Prepare yourself.
spoiler warning.
All right. Like I said, Sam Witwer comes back. Fantastic. He makes this show work. I love his evolution of like, I think, didn't he start out doing Starkiller, or did he voice Maul
Yeah.
before that?
No, like because he was Star Killer in those
Force
games.
Unleashed movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, games, yeah.
Games. Sorry. Yeah, games. Yeah. But yeah, he's a great voice actor. Wow. He makes Maul who he is. It's incredible how well he's voice acting this show and in Clone Wars as well. And I believe he voices him in Rebels too.
I
I would
think
have to check
so.
on that. I'm not sure, but I'm
I
pretty sure
think
he does.
I'm pretty sure he is consistent of voicing Maul.
But yeah, he is fantastic. Glad he's back for this because again, this show would not work without him. I love how they just picked up from Clone Wars and just like ran with it. Part of me was like wanted this big grand story for Maul Shadow Lord because I'm like, oh, Maul's amazing. I love it. But it's so perfect how it's like this kind of low stakes underworld story because that's who Maul is now throughout,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Clone Wars. And then obviously this show takes place before Rebels, but like he's not a big global universal galaxy power anymore. He's a guy that's literally trying to like survive in the
Mm-hmm.
galaxy. And this show just captured that so perfectly. Man, that last 2 episodes where Darth Vader shows up, I lost my
So
mind.
good.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
My fear through every Star Wars anything that ever happens, like book, video game, movie, show, is that they're showing too much Darth Vader. I'm scared that they're going to show Darth Vader and he's going to like wear out his just how great of a villain he is, right? But everything he shows up in, he
It's so
is
cool.
just the absolute greatest villain of all time. I love it
Right.
so
Because
much.
it has that menace. And just
Yeah.
they're like, it's just that, like when they run out, they're in the jungle, and then
Hmm.
Rook cast. It's just like you gotta
Oh,
go check that out,
yeah.
and you hear the shooting, and then you're running
Yeah.
back, and all of a sudden, in the back of your head, you're like, oh, it's got to be Vader. But then all of a sudden, just yank back into the jungle, and you're like, oh, she just got force pulled, and then you're just sitting there, and it does that like slow pan, and you're just like,
That was
red
intense.
lightsaber, red lightsaber, red lightsaber, and then just red lightsaber, and you're just like, yes. Like,
Yeah, dude, that was wild. That was absolutely intense. Both of those last final episodes were they completed the show because before those two, I kind of was like almost I still loved it. Like I thought it was awesome, but I still kind of was like how's this going to end? Like what are we doing here? Like what's the purpose of this show? When Vader showed up, I was all in. Like this was
yeah.
those last 2 episodes absolutely nailed this show. And
Mm-hmm.
even before, like without Vader, the lightsaber battles in this show have been so
Very,
stinking
very
good.
cool.
So good. There's something to be said about Star Wars animation because there's stuff that they can do with animation that you just can't do in live
Yeah.
action. My new favorite frame in Star Wars, all of Star Wars, is the one in I think it's in the penultimate episode before they get to Vader, where they're having that lightsaber battle with Merrick and the 11th brother, and they
Mm-hmm.
all like simultaneously pause and then just like keep fighting again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I lost my mind when that happened, dude. I was like, this is the best. This is the best lightsaber fight that's ever happened in Star Wars. Of course, I
So
don't think
cool.
that's true, but at that
No.
time, when I was losing my mind, that's what I said. I was like,
Well, it's like it just
dude.
adds to that the epicness of it.
Yeah,
And it's like it's not just all flash, but it just see the different fighting styles. And that was something
right.
then to then continue that, which I still love how they do this. And not like I think it works better kind of in the animation style compared to live action. But I know again, I'll pick on Robbie a bit on this one. How that's been one of Robbie's beefs. They said it was just like, oh, you watch the old movies and the lightsaber fighting's so boring, and you're like, well, there's a reason. It's different, and like I
Yeah,
get it. It's not as flashy as what you have in the
right.
compared to the prequels from the original. But what I noticed then on this one when you have the Maul Vader fights in those last 2 episodes is Maul is fighting still his style, but Vader is doing the slow, the intentional,
I
the regular
love
strikes,
Vader.
and
Yeah,
it is so. It is not flashy, but you can tell
no
there's just menace and power to what he's doing. Like
power. That's the word.
every slash with his lightsaber is intentional. And like you just see that, and like you're always like, oh man, how does that compare and contrast? But like it does it right there. Like
Yeah.
Maul still has his fighting style, but you can just even see it through how that plays out. It's
Right.
just like no, Vader's in control on this, and
Right.
oh, it's such a boring fighting style, but like
When
it
Vader
doesn't matter.
is going 3v1 and still has the 3 on the run,
hmm
that's power, man. You're like what you said with his fighting style, and it's been shown like in games too. Like I think of I think it's Survivor, Jedi
Yeah,
Survivor, where he
it's
fights Seer, is that her name?
yeah in the burning library. Yeah,
In the library. And man, that fight is so great and frustrating. Like I
yeah,
took a long time to beat that fight, besides the point. But but like Vader, he is so powerful that he rarely ever puts two hands on his lightsaber.
yeah. Doesn't need
When
to.
he puts
Like,
two hands on his lightsaber, he's pissed. And
right,
you're going to be in trouble when he
right.
does that. When he puts two hands on his lightsaber, you're in trouble. And you better probably just run at that point, because that's when he's getting serious. Before that, he just plays with people, man. He like,
Literally,
there's one point where I think he's one-on-one with Maul, and he just is going boom, 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 like
right.
down, like
Yeah,
just straight power. And Maul is like losing that battle and can't handle like how powerful Vader is. And I absolutely love how they portray Vader as just this force, this unbeatable force in all of the other media. Because
hmm
once again, I go back to that fear. I'm like, oh, man, I feel like the more they overexpose him, it's kind of like in horror movies where some of the best horror movies are the ones where the monster only shows up like, for a couple minutes of the whole movie, because the mystery of it is what makes it an awesome movie. And the mystery of Vader is what makes him a great character, but also he's just a really awesome character. So seeing
hmm
him show up and just wreck everybody all the
right,
time, I'll take that 100% of the time.
right.
Every time I will
And
take
it's
that.
it's not even just in the lightsaber fighting, but just those moments where it captured like his use of the Force, and you're just like, dude, like, yeah, it goes. He is just toying with you. Like he
Yeah.
could just do Force for any, but like the scene that jumps out to me for there is when Maul and Devin, how they're breaking. They use the Force to break off like the top of the cave or whatever, and
Oh
they're like, "Oh,
yeah,
we got to
right.
slow him down." Vader, just one hand.
Oh yeah,
It just
right.
holds everything they're trying to drop on him. And it's like
Yep.
he's using one hand, and it took two of you to do that, or just
Right.
the other when he's still coming at Maul and like he's just throwing and all that stuff's coming at him, and just again, just the one hand with the Force, just stopping everything, and you're just like, oh my
Right.
goodness,
One of my favorite things about him is that in everything, he also never like runs, never force jumps. He just walks
nope,
towards them slowly
yep,
the whole time. Just
it's
keeps
like
walking towards them.
it's like freaking Michael
And they're
Myers. He just